Well, I'm out on the trek today. I should have been out on the revolt, but a little bit of a disaster. I went out, got up to a set of traffic lights, and my foot was stuck in the pedal. Fortunately, I always unclip both feet at the same time, so I was able to lean over on my other foot, but I was still stuck because what do? Stopped, but I'm still stuck. I can't get off the bike, so I turned around and went home. Fortunately, I managed to get onto the driveway, lean on the car and undo my shoe and get my foot out of it. But I still couldn't get the shoe out of the pedal. I tried all sorts. The cleat has come loose on the bottom of the shoe and you can't turn it enough to release it. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. It was really quite a frightening moment. You know, as I say, fortunately, got both feet out, managed to steady myself, but I sat there. I was actually going to turn right. I was in the middle of the road. So what do? Anyway, managed to get home. So what I thought I'd talk about today is cycling technology, because I was listening to a podcast during the week and they were talking about all kinds of things which really made me sit up and think. It's still quite a few patches of ice out. It surprised me. There's no frost on the cars this morning and the air temperature's 5 degrees. The trouble with talking about technology is technology has always been there. And the danger is, like most people, you think the point where you entered the sport was the purity point. But derailleur gears are technology. And we had those when I started cycling. And tubular tyres, even pneumatic tyres were technology in their day. So it's very easy to discount anything new. I say, oh, there's too much technology in the sport. But the point at which I started cycling, everybody had the same technology. You didn't need to be a rich team or even a rich person to benefit from that technology. See, we've got teams going out to races, 4 or 5 different rim depths. So they use the one which they think will be will give them an advantage on that day, and that's fine. Except if you're a new team without a big budget, you can't do that. And then it becomes checkbook racing. Whoever has the most money wins the race. And that's the bit I feel very uncomfortable with. And even at the other end of the scale, you know, on a group ride, somebody feels inferior to the rest of the group because he can't afford a bike with all this fancy technology, deep dish carbon rims and all this sort of thing. Or even the guy just can't keep up with the group because he hasn't got the same technology as them. When you've got wind tunnel tested Skinsuits, well, There's only a few people who can afford that. But again, this is just technology, and I don't know. Should I be opposed to it? I kind of like the idea that cycling is an athletic activity, and so being fitter makes you go faster. And that's what was the most inspiring thing to me when I was racing. Was the fact that everybody on the start line had the same equipment, near enough. And the thing I have the biggest problem with is electronics. And again, it might just be because I'm old. The thing I like about cycling is that it's a mechanical device. And all the technology, up until very recently, has been about making the mechanics more efficient. Now, I'm not talking about e-bikes, because it's a different thing altogether, you know. I mean, if you can't manage to ride a bike, or you can't go up a hill, you're too restricted, you know, e-bikes have a good pace. Get people out cycling. But it's the electronic suspension and things like that. I mean, on the podcast, these guys were talking about an AI dropper seat post. Well, I don't even know what a dropper seat post is, I'll have to admit that. They weren't around. Kind of understand that it's a mountain biking thing, because you want to get lower down when you're going downhill. And then you flick a switch and it comes back up. Or so I'm told. Never actually experienced one. And anyway, what's to stop it hitting you in the bollocks when it comes back up? But yeah, so you've got to drop a seat post and you kind of set it low and set it high and flick a switch and it works one way or the other. But now they've come up with an AI. Wow. There's a bit of a grey area about what AI is, but a dropper seat post that learns your preferences. I don't even know what my preferences are. But anyway, so it'll learn your preferences and then it'll continually adjust itself to a point where you think, yeah, that's right. And I'm sure it's hours of fun if technology is your thing. But is it hours of fun if cycling is your thing? And I've mentioned this before, one of the biggest problems with the technology industry is they never stop to ask why. Reading about a pair of shoes that can tighten itself just right, but you need an app on your phone to tie up your shoes, and that's great. You can put your shoes on, fumble about, tripping over yourself until you find your phone, push a button on the app and type your shoes for you. And that's great. But why? I mean, I understand that phones can be quite handy in a lot of situations, you know, because you've got it with you. My wife yesterday went to the supermarket. She probably won't thank me for telling you this, but got to the checkout and she's realised she hasn't got her purse, left it at home. So she's had to abandon the shopping, go home, get the purse, come back. Fortunately, park the trolley in a corner of the store, and when she came back it was still there. But she came home and set up the electronic payment thing on the phone. And that is understandable because you've always got your phone with you. But an app to tie your shoelaces seems a bit of a waste of time because you've always got your hands with you. So nobody's ever gone out, put their shoes on and go, oh bugger, I didn't bring my hands. Well, not to the best of my knowledge anyway. Anyway, that's got nothing to do with cycling technology. The point I'm making is sometimes the technology industry needs to just sit back and go, why are we doing this? What problem does it solve? Because so much technology is a solution looking for a problem.